All right, what up, everybody? This your boy Black Magus, and we're finally here with the special edition of Sharpshooter for Fastlane, the previous pay-per-view, which wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Wasn't that great, but it wasn't as bad. Anyway, first let me introduce my guests. First of all, say what's up to our special guest, Flying Modem. Say what's up to the people, sir.
Thanks for having
All
me
right,
again. Appreciate it.
always, and we're gonna have to figure out a way to get you on here a lot more regularly. Figure scheme out something. But
Yeah.
Pete, say what's up to the people.
What's up, people? Sorry about not covering it live yesterday like we're trying to do with most pay-per-views, but some things came up. But we're here to do Fastlane, and let's get into it.
All right, so let's just go into the first match, which I don't know why they felt like they needed to have that match. It annoyed me when I found out that they were doing that match. To be quite honest, I really didn't think that it was necessary, but WWE in their wisdom, they thought it was. So
It,
I don't know.
in a way, you kind of like it would have felt a bit weird if Rollins wasn't performing at a pay-per-view, so they had to squeeze him in somehow.
Yeah, I think
So,
that's pretty much the only reason why it ended up being there. To be quite honest, I don't know.
yeah, I mean the match itself wasn't like. Do you know really? It was kind of in a way the match was kind of like it was a good start to the pay-per-view though. I got to say it kind of felt like a main event of Raw or something, a main event of more like a main event of SmackDown, just something they throw together. And the match is Ziggler, Rowan, and Ryback versus Big Show, Kane, and Rollins. I mean, I didn't think they were going to put Big Show and Kane. I thought they were going to put J&J Security, but I think we all agreed that Jamie Noble has his back problems and whatnot, so they couldn't get him getting slammed around the ring. The match was all right.
Period. They really shouldn't have. I
Well,
really would.
I like the match and everything, and I feel like they threw Seth Rollins in the match for the return of Randy Orton, which happened at the end, and for people to be like to see him like, oh, he's not hiding in the shadows, he's not going to cash in his briefcase. You know how people be over analyzing things, so
Yeah.
just so people can see him, like, okay, maybe he's not going to use the briefcase. Then Randy Orton came and had him run out the building. Oh yeah, he's definitely not using the briefcase anymore. And I gotta say, him running out the building was actually kind of funny. Like, I can't remember the last time I've seen someone on wrestling run out the building. Like, it was pretty good to see that again. I liked it. But
Yeah,
overall, the match
that
was
was
pretty good.
yeah.
What were you saying,
Like I
Pete?
said, it was a pretty good. It was a pretty good start to Raw. A pretty good start to Fastlane. What should I say? But the ending was kind of just irritating. I always hate when Ziggler gets pinned, just because Ziggler's like the most popular jobber in the WWE. Like, he always seems, and it's always something retarded that always happens to him. And this one was no different. It was like the KO punch, a Big Show's KO punch, and then he was like retardedly. It looked like he kind of died on Kane, and then Kane just did like an awkward choke slam. Like, I can't even put that into words. What just happened?
To me, it was all kind of awkward. Seriously, it just didn't feel like they really thought it out well. I mean, it gave you a chance to see Seth Rollins again, but I don't know. It's just something about it. Just really, it just bothered me that they felt they
Yeah, but
needed that match as opposed to just going without it.
I mean, it was the only reason it was good, like Moto said, was it was good to see the return of Orton, which, I mean, the crowd kind of in a way predicted it. Like, you heard the crowd chanting for Randy Orton. It's like the first time I
Yeah.
can remember them doing a clean chant for Orton. Then Orton just comes. He took out everyone. Like, RKO's left, right, and center, which they're always gonna do. And then but overall, I thought the match did get like I've repeated it. It was a a good start to Fastlane in terms of just wrestling performance. And I mean, you didn't really look too much into the match. It just makes you more excited for Raw the next night to see what Orton has to say.
I mean, as far as in-ring performance and everything, it was pretty good. You got Dolph Ziggler, who's always fun to watch. You know, Ryback is getting better with his move set and everything. And then just, man, I forget another guy's name. But
Eric
Rowan. Yeah, Eric
right.
Rowan.
You know, they were pretty good. And then Kane, Big Show, and all that, just having Seth Rollins there and then them curve stomping everybody, Randy Orton showing up, which Randy Orton, I used to not like Randy Orton, but when he's a face, he's like really good. And then as I got older and I realized, certain things about the WWE, I realized he was a great heel as well, because you just hate the guy. You just love to hate the guy.
When he was the Legend Killer, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And when he was with
that was one of the better half of his career.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sick of the Viper. I hate Michael Cole. Always has a way of ruining someone's name, like the Viper.
He does. He over.
What about Dean Ambrose? Dean Ambrose, the lunatic fringe. I've heard that 1,000 times.
That's his problem. He keeps saying the same thing over and over again. And it's like you do get tired of hearing it. Call him Randy. He has other names. I mean, they have other nicknames. That's one of the things that was so good about JR, is that JR used to come up with so many nicknames and catchphrases for people that it never got stale, because he would just switch back and forth, or he just addressed them by their name, which is cool. Yeah, but Cole
isn't. I do not like Cole either, but I don't think there's going to be, unless there's someone out there who they haven't found yet, that's going to be as good as JR, for obvious reasons, like y'all said. And one of my biggest problems with Cole is not just he says the name over and over again, but he says the same thing about the person over and over again. Like, if whatever heel is big and strong and he's going against John Cena and he's like has the best of him in the match, Cole's going to say he's manhandling. No one has ever manhandled John Cena. Well, you said that about the last 3 guys. So
yeah, exactly.
It is so ridiculous. Like, I really hate that. And then that's just me.
The only thing, the only thing you're going to take from that opening match is really just Orton's going to verse Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that's coming out of that match.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that is probably the best thing Rollins is going to get out of WrestleMania, unless he chooses to cash in his Money in the Bank.
I mean, he could do both, which would be pretty good for him, to be quite honest. But in fact, I'm waiting for that to happen.
They need more belts, yo, because I feel like these matches aren't as significant without having the belts on the line. Like,
with that said, this pay-per-view actually, like I said on the Fastlane predictions, Mike, this pay-per-view had a lot of belts on the line, which was surprising for me. Seeing.
But I do agree with Modem. They need more belts. The WWE Championship needs to be split back to the World Heavyweight and the WWE Championship.
Yeah, definitely.
They should come back with the Cruiserweight, because a lot of the smaller guys get locked out of the picture.
You know what? They don't even have to call it the Cruiserweight. They can call it, what was that heavyweight title they had that was like under the World Heavyweight? It was like Welter Heavyweight or something like that.
Light heavyweight, something like that. Yeah, light heavyweight, yeah.
They can call it the light heavyweight. For the little guys, they can have
something. Or like I was saying once, maybe bring back the TV title. That way you're guaranteed to have a title match at almost every show.
Well, they at the Royal Rumble. Wait. The TV? I don't even.
TV title was something that they brought over briefly from when WCW closed down. They kind of brought it over, and I think that's what eventually the U.S. title had become.
Uh,
It came from that because there was a TV title in WCW, and it was a stipulation that if you held that belt, you had to defend it once every week on TV, which
oh
meant that
wow.
everybody was guaranteed to see at least one title match on a show every
That's
week.
intense.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
to bring the
That's fair
women's
enough.
championship back too.
The what?
The women's championship. So like, I don't like this one belt thing
Yeah.
specifically
I mean, the
because
Divas
it's slowing down development of characters. And then
I don't know if the Divas, like for me, I think the Divas division is alright with just one title in there, unless you're going to do like a Divas tag team division. But
No, I think they do need more titles because at least it'll give the other ladies an opportunity. Because right now they're so stuck in these fast lane storylines. I mean, not fast lane. Sorry, Total Divas storyline. That you're only seeing certain ones contend for the belt. You don't necessarily see all of the. I mean, you maybe get that one fight with Nikki plus and whoever they want her to fight, whoever like is trying to take the belt off her, over and over again. Where's the other guys? You have AJ, you have Emma, you have all these other women out there that do
exactly.
nothing. They do nothing but sit and watch the two chosen ones go back and forth for like 4 or 5 weeks until the next pay-per-view. It's
Yeah.
stale.
But not just that, it's happening with all the WWE superstars or divas, and it's just slowing down development because only a certain amount of people can go for this. Like the only reason the Daniel Bryan's Reigns thing happened was because of who's going to fight him over it. There's never going to be more than at the max 6 people going for a belt at one time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a special thing. It's never going to be like every pay-per-view 6 people are contending for it. But this is just slowing down development. This isn't giving us enough variety of stories or setting up rivals and stuff like that. They need to give them things to go for and make them actually matter again. So back to what my point in bringing all this up was this Rollins versus Seth thing. It's cool to have like some rivalry, like, oh man, you did me dirty, blah blah blah. But I don't think just because he did him dirty and they got like a rivalry going on right now, that's a WrestleMania match.
I think they're going to go with the angle that Rollins tried to end Orton's career, and now Orton's back, and he's going to take him out. That's the angle they're going to pitch. But I mean, honestly, I could say I'm just going to sit here and say that's the best Rollins is going to get in terms of a matchup, and they're going to go with it because that's all they got. And the opening match, like we covered, it was simply just a chance for Randy Orton to come back, and that had been building that whole Ziggler, Eric Rowan, Ryback versus Seth for weeks now. I think it's like 4 weeks ago on SmackDown when
Honestly, this has been
Seth Rollins did the Open Challenge.
Survivor Series. It's like they've been having this like feud going on in some way, like for the last 2-3 months. I think they could find other director, but again, it goes back to what Moto was saying: more belts. Give them something else to do. They don't have much to do, but to do that over and over again.
Let's just quickly. I want to move on to match 2 because this match just disappointed me. The way we spoke about it in the predictions video, it went completely south of that. Like, I thought it was going to be a really good match. Instead, it was so disappointing. The whole match 2 was Goldust versus Stardust, and I can't even explain the match. Like, the match was just dodgy. It was like awkward. It was. I don't even know what direction the WWE was heading with that match. Don't hurt Stardust.
I kind of got what they were trying to do. They were trying to build a story. I just don't think they know how to build stories right. They were trying to build some type of drama, like I'm your older brother, I love you, I don't want to hurt you, we just need to get this out of your system. But it's poor execution. I mean, it's not a bad angle, but it was kind of poor execution. I expected them to let them do a lot more, and I expected it to be a more heated fight.
Yeah,
Maybe they're
that's
saving it.
that's the thing I don't understand. Like brother versus brother is like pretty simple in terms of storyline. Like they feud, they have like a massive brawl, it carries on. But this one, just the whole Dusty Rhodes things backstage, and then Goldust winning how he did. Like, I thought that the referee made a mistake, just kind of accidentally hit the 3, and then he was like, "Yeah, okay, I've got to end the match now." Because that was one of the most uncomfortable things to watch, like in terms of the entire match and the way it ended.
Yeah, it was very awkward.
I was fine with the match. I was fine with pretty much the whole match. What I wasn't okay with was them being backstage, all three of them, and then Cody Rhodes just attacks Goldust. Goldust doesn't even try to defend himself, and he's just out of commission. But it's like, that was really weird, because why didn't they just do that in the ring? When Cody grabbed his hand, like, all right, man, you're right. That's what it looked like to me. Like, he grabbed his hand, like, yeah, you're right. I need to stop this, blah, blah, blah. Let's move on. And he got out the ring. So, instead of attacking him in the ring, he comes back out stage acting crazy again. It's like, what you had a change of heart when you got backstage or something? Like, that ending was really weird for me. The match was I feel like it was supposed to be awkward, and it showed.
Yeah, that's why I said I saw what they were trying to do. It didn't really resonate. I don't think it resonated the way they wanted it to. I mean, like I said, I got where they were going with it, and now once they go to WrestleMania, you probably see the real fight.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this was just a build for WrestleMania. I just thought that the match was just really poorly executed. They needed to do more within the match. Like, even just a tiny bit more, just anything better than what they've done. I can't watch that. Like, if you told me to watch that match again, watch it over, I couldn't. But we can move on to match 3, because match 3 was actually pretty exciting, and I actually did enjoy it. And that was the Tag Team Championship match, the Usos versus Cesaro and Kid. No, I actually did enjoy this match, and it's weird to say that about a Tag Team Championship match, because I haven't said that for a while.
I mean, you get us the Usos and insert this next scene.
Yeah, that's it. And you called it, Mike, in the predictions video. You said that Cesaro and Kid would win. I thought the Usos were going to retain, but they didn't. They ended up dropping it. And the match actually had some high points, and honestly, I like watching Tyson Kidd in the ring. I don't know why. Ever since he's come up, even though he came up, like we always repeat, through Total Divas at the end of the day, his tag team partnership with Kidd is actually really good. And now that the Usos are able to verse wrestlers that actually are decent in the ring, that are good in the ring, they can do a lot more of their tag team moves and show off a lot more of their skills. Because they are good wrestlers, the Usos. Great tag team.
I'm telling you, Tyson Kidd is underrated because his personality. That's it. He's not that great on the mic. And
do they have like a school for that, where they can teach people?
They actually, it's funny because if I remember correctly, Dusty Rhodes is in charge of teaching them how, and I don't know how they're not getting that. He's one of the best people on the mic ever. But sometimes it comes natural too. Some people don't know how to be natural with it. Some people try to force it, and it's kind of hard to teach someone not to, force. Not
it's like
to get the gap.
Like I was saying earlier, they need more belts, because this one tag team championship thing, it's not working out. There's only a few tag teams going after the belts.
Didn't they have 2 tag teams?
Yes, they did have 2 tag teams.
Yeah, I thought I remembered that.
And
one on Raw, one on SmackDown.
Exactly. And then they they unified it or whatever. and then started is you got to defend it on Raw and SmackDown, whatever. And I don't really care about that. But the point is, they don't have enough tag team action going on. And it's always the same tag teams going on. And if they had the 2 sets of belts, they can set up a tag team on SmackDown, just like they had it, 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, or something like that. And just build up more tag teams to go at it, and then we can have who's the better tag team champion at WrestleMania, stuff like this. Like these matches compared to what we used to get are so underwhelming at times, and the only thing that makes up for it is the personalities and how we personally feel about these matches. Like Stardust versus Goldust. I don't know exactly how y'all feel about it, but this doesn't really seem all that important. This doesn't seem like a WrestleMania match to me. It's like, okay, you and your brother got problems y'all need to work out. Okay, y'all don't need to work that out at WrestleMania. Maybe the Raw after or something.
The only reason it deserves to be there in a sense is just so Goldust can retire. Because I feel it's better him to go out there than to go out on a episode of Raw or SmackDown.
But at the same time, it kind of brings down. I understand what Moto said, because it kind of brings down the importance of WrestleMania, because it's a match. It's a career. It could be a career ender for Goldust. Okay, that's cool, but in the scope of what's going to happen in the WWE for the preceding future, what's the weight? Why are we invested in this beyond sorry to see Goldust possibly go? No belts changing. There's no implication to any belt. It's not like this is setting up like the #1 contendership for the Intercontinental title or something like that. It's just it comes down to be just a match that's there, and it's not a match that possibly deserves to be there. You know what I mean? The match. Yeah, it's just like it goes back to why I was so pissed about the 6-man tag match starting off the whole thing. Like I said, all it was for Rollins to have something to do during the pay-per-view. It had no impact on anything whatsoever. It was just a match, and it wasted time. It was a time filler. It was a time waster, and I know me personally, I'm glad that I didn't go to the pay-per-view, because I would have felt cheated if that's the type of matches you want me to pay for your pay-per-view for. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's not a pay-per-view match right there.
Going back to the tag team match, how did you feel about the titles changing hands?
I felt like it was the right thing to do. Their father is getting, inducted into the Hall of Fame. They go back to WrestleMania. They should get them back just to be like, yeah, Dad's in the Hall of Fame. We got our titles back. It's gonna feel really good. Then the dad can come down, yeah, son, and everybody cheering. Well, yeah, it's gonna be good. That's gonna look good.
Okay, see, now I don't want them to get the belts, but I would appreciate them getting the belts if that happened, because I would love to see Rikishi get in the ring and dance again.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, what was that? What was that episode? It was either a pay-per-view or it was a special episode of Raw, and they had all the legends come back or something, and the Usos was dancing with their dad and stuff. Right. And they're like, yo, let's fly. They should do that again.
That would look good. That would be a good look at WrestleMania. I would suffer the Usos having the belt again.
But see, the only reason you feel that way is because there's no competition.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know, exactly. And if
it's not like they're a bad tag team or they battle the rank or anything. They're great, but there's no competition.
Yeah, they are.
Exactly. And that's the problem. It's like there's no competitive reason for these things to be happening. So it's just like, we're just going to hold them until we find somebody else that we can build a rivalry up and play that out a little bit. Then go back to square one again. If I thought that, this was going to set off, and it could, because this is Cesaro and Kid are a really good tag team.
Technical.
They're very, very good. So this could set off a good rivalry. But I need, a couple more people to like be taken serious and throw themselves into the mix and kind of make it seem like everybody's chasing down the Usos instead of it's just some random matchups that they get now and then.
Yeah, that's so true. And I'm actually, for one, I'm pretty excited to see how Kid and Cesaro go about holding the belts. Even though, like we could say, they're probably just going to hold it until Mania and then lose it and maybe get it back after Mania. But I'm pretty excited to see what they do over the next 4 weeks, maybe in terms of other tag teams pushing up. Because the Ascension, they should be pushing. If they're winning as much as they're winning, I don't think they've lost yet. Have they lost?
No, I don't think they've lost a match yet.
So you'd assume they'd be pushing up. It's just taking time. Like, teams have to move out of the way. That's the limitations having different tag teams but one belt. I mean, the tag team division itself isn't full by any means, but it's so hard having like say you have 5 tag teams going for the one tag team titles. It's hard to get them all in matches unless you have like 3 tag teams fighting for the one title. If you're letting one team get the number 1 contenders and fight that way, it's just going to take ages for the next team to get their turn.
But see, the thing about the tag teams not being, full, as you said, is there's no need for it because it's not 2 sets of belts anymore. So they don't really need that many tag teams. Why have a whole bunch of tag teams? And especially when they're not going to get a chance to go for the tag team titles. They're just pretty much there. But if they had 2 sets of belts, if they had more tag teams, we can go. It was just like how SmackDown was its own show. We didn't see John Cena on SmackDown if he was on a Raw roster. We didn't see, Bray Wyatt on SmackDown if he's on a Raw roster, and so on and so forth. That's what it needs to go back to with their own set of belts, making their own show. We need things like Raw versus SmackDown, the favorites versus the favorites. We need to see who's the better tag team champions and stuff like that. Who's the better world champion? And, like, all those things need to come back because now we're getting tired of seeing our favorites because we're seeing them so much.
Yeah,
that really...
tag team is so easy to fix. You can partner people together easily. I mean, you get it all the time, so it's not a hard thing to build back up if they would just, like you said, split the belts back up.
But a lot of it comes down to they've got to make SmackDown more relevant again. SmackDown is completely irrelevant as a show. It's just a second. You don't even need to watch SmackDown, to be honest. You can just watch Raw and you'll stay up to date on everything WWE.
But
you can watch. That's it. If they split the belts, you just need the World Heavyweight Championship to be back on SmackDown and actually mean something.
No, because that would make it another Raw, where there's only belt that's kind of important besides the United States Championship is the world title. And to not to discredit the world title, but that's like we're all gonna see the same thing over and over again, and we don't need that. The only way that they're gonna make SmackDown relevant again is to split up the favorites. We need favorites on SmackDown, and only to be on SmackDown, you want to see your favorite, watch SmackDown. And favorites on Raw. You want to see your favorite, you gotta watch Raw. And that's what they need to do. And if they don't split them up like, the Divas division and so on and so forth, this splitting them up and keeping them exclusive to this, just like NXT. Y'all love watching NXT. If y'all seen NXT people all the time, eventually y'all would get tired of them. But they're exclusively on NXT. So you watch NXT. If you can watch your the people on NXT on SmackDown or Raw, regardless, y'all wouldn't watch NXT as much. I can miss that. I'm gonna see them on Raw that next Monday or SmackDown and blah blah blah. So they need to have exclusivity. They need that.
That helped because you could only see it one time. Undertaker was only on SmackDown if you were an Undertaker fan, and you had to watch.
Which pretty much everybody was. Like even if you didn't like anybody else on SmackDown, you loved the Undertaker, and you will watch just for the Undertaker.
Yeah, that's true. They have to figure something. Yeah, they have to figure a a way to get people more invested. If you're not going to make the investment in the titles, then yeah, the roster's the next natural place. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan per se of that, only because sometimes I just didn't want to have to watch both, but it served its purpose because it made me watch both, and it made me care about both. Yeah, so it worked. Even if you don't like it, it's a valuable tool because if you're invested in a certain wrestler, like you said, you are going to go there regardless of what you think of everybody else on that roster. So
Yeah, no, but we with that tag team out of the way, I mean, we can talk about the next bit, which is the Sting and Triple H meet face to face. So, do you guys want to cover this? Anyone got anything in particular?
I, I, I liked it. Like, I'm like, okay, my man Triple H. I used to be a huge Triple H fan. Like, he's back in action. He's gonna have a match. Cool. But then the whole Sting not talking thing was kind of getting on my nerves. Like, I wanted him to say something.
Yeah, that was like me.
you know, that's an old school like.
Yeah. Like, I get it. I really get it. Like, he's so cool. He doesn't have to say anything. And you know, I like that to a sense. But when it was like, even if he did the what was that famous football player that's been going to interview saying one word?
What did he say?
Oh, like Marshawn Lynch, yeah.
Yeah, right. Even if he was just like, even if Triple H was like, I ended your career, and he was just like WrestleMania, then he's like, you don't want to go there with me, WrestleMania. Like, that would have been so funny. And then just have him beat up Triple H, that'd have been like the greatest segment of Fastlane. But he didn't talk, and I wanted him to say something. Excuse me. I just wanted him to say something.
Triple H's promos are like awesome. Like, I love Triple H on the mic, and he's especially good as a heel, like how he is right now. And I thought it was awesome when Triple H picked up the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Because that's his weapon, and then he goes to, you think he's going to use on Sting, and Sting has the baseball bat. That was like the coolest thing they could have done. Like, that just had to be done. And they did it.
You know, I would have liked to see, like, the sledgehammer and the baseball bat clash somehow. And then, like they just...
like lightsabers.
Yeah, right. They just swing at each other, and then they, like, drop it, because it's like, okay, that's not going to work. They just start beating on each other, and then Sting goes over. You know,
the one thing that I didn't like about it is that they didn't give us enough heat, in my opinion. They should have threw down a bit more. I would have loved to see them go at it.
That was like, you know, you getting hot and heavy with your girlfriend, and then, like, it lasts for like 5 seconds. She's like, hold on, I'm on my period. We can't do this. We gotta wait. And it's like, whoa. You can't be doing all that. Like, you gotta get excited for no reason.
Right.
Let's be real here. Sledgehammer beats a baseball bat every time.
Well, in a sense. But, you know.
It also depends on where it's at. Because if I got a baseball bat under your chin, and you just got a sledgehammer in your hand.
I mean, they're just
a little closer.
They're face to face, and then Triple H just. But it was actually, I thought it was cool how he was pointing to WrestleMania. I mean, everyone knew that Sting was only going to fight at WrestleMania. Though when Sting signed with the WWE, when he did, everyone thought he was going to be facing The Undertaker. That was like the biggest rumor going. And now it's just taken a complete left field, and he's versing Triple H. But this rivalry is good as well. Triple H builds anything. Triple H is magic on the mic.
He is.
Yes, he's awesome on the mic.
I just, like, the same way he was pointing to WrestleMania, all he had to say was WrestleMania. That's all he had to keep saying. And then, like, he could have still did the pointy thing. Like, look, I've done enough talking. You know what I want. And point at it. WrestleMania. Just keep doing that. Like, that would have been the greatest segment of Fastlane.
Doesn't it make you wonder, though, who wins at WrestleMania? Because in a way, it sort of is WCW versus WWE again. And you can look at it as, if Triple H loses again, that means he lost last year and he lost this year. It's just, this guy can't just keep coming back and losing at WrestleMania every time someone big gets in the picture with him.
But then he turns around and wins at SummerSlam.
Yeah, he'll be back and he'll get another match. I mean, he's due for 2 or 3 matches, so he could lose that. I mean, and it's Sting. I don't think it hurts Triple H at all if he ends up losing to Sting.
It
Although
would
I
hurt
would
if he was
like
a
it
face.
yeah,
Heel.
if he was still a face,
Otherwise.
it's not only that, but a very active wrestler like he used to be. Different story. This is not the same Triple H that we grew up with. So
Yeah. I think him losing this one is fine.
But I
if
think
he does.
that promo was actually that was one of the high points
Yeah.
of the entire fast
Me
lane.
too. I liked it. I'm
Yeah.
not. Don't get me wrong. I liked it. I'm just saying, it would have been better if he said,
But yeah, I was like you. I was so irritated that he wouldn't say a word. And when he knocked Triple H down after hitting him with the baseball bat, I thought he was going to pick up the mic and say something.
Yeah.
And he walked off, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Why?
he should've
Just
said
come back."
just run back to the ring real quick. Say something, a word,
He
syllable,
doesn't
sound,
even-
something.
Say a letter. But it's weird how you go from that high point to the next. The next match, which was the Divas Championship match, and that was Nikki Bella versus Paige. And holy shit, the Divas division is my mortal enemy.
I'll say this. I like Paige's entrance a lot more this time. I don't know what she changed, but it damn sure didn't look like she got daddy issues, and she's just really emotional when she came out. I was like my biggest gripe with her last time because I really was like, who is this girl? Like, why is she here? She looks
she's less of a
frail.
like emo type of personality, and she got a little better personality now. She used to be just emo.
The anti-diva.
something like just this girl who they hire who has daddy issues, and she's really emotional right now.
Exactly.
Oh, I hated that. I did not like that at all. And she's like rebelling with all this revealing clothing and like, yeah, look at me, world. Like, no, take your ass backstage. Change right now. The match is on hold.
This match had botches as well. This match was kind of awkward. I don't know. The Divas division, it feels like they're really limiting what they can do. It's either that or the girls can't wrestle, which is weird because Paige is actually, from what I saw on her early days at NXT, she can wrestle as well.
Oh,
so
she
while
can wrestle. Very good wrestler.
I'm not sure why they did what they did. And again, it was another dodgy ending. This one was not as bad as the Goldust Stardust, but it was very close. Very close. It was a close second for a terrible ending. And what was it? It was holding the tights, wasn't it? That's the direction they went with that. And that was just absolutely retarded.
Honestly, they seem to have bad endings with any match now that the Bellas are in. It feels like they can't put on a match without something like weird or messed up happen.
Why can't they?
Like that.
But they could do, like, Nikki Bella could have done the rack attack. It would have been a much more pleasing ending than seeing Paige run at Nikki Bella and then just get thrown into like the middle corner buckle thing and then get rolled up and hold the tights. But like we both agreed that Nikki Bella would win at Fastlane because I don't know what they're gonna do with her at Mania, whether it be her versus Brie.
I hope they leave her home. Like, seriously, just let her stay home. You don't need to have a Divas match. It's fine. I would be fine if they don't do a Divas match at WrestleMania. Because it's not going to be entertaining. The one Divas match that they can do, they probably won't do, and that's Naomi versus Natalya. I would like to see that because I know it would be a good wrestling.
That'll be on Raw. They'll eventually have that match on Raw.
Exactly. And that I would that's a pay-per-view worthy matchup, but neither of them have a title to care about, so they can't put them on there.
It's weird that you bring that up because Natalya, like I always thought for the longest, she'd make an incredible women's championship, Divas champion, because she's so good in ring. But she's just like Tyson Kidd. They have no personality on the mic. It's just they're good wrestlers. I don't know what comes out of the Heart Dungeon. They build your like wrestling ability, but when it comes to your personality, you're like on your own.
Basically, you need training for that. But Yeah.
Get the American dream.
Can we like move away from the Divas thing? Because I'm
Yes, the
so,
Divas division's frustrating.
Because
Okay, we'll talk.
yeah, I'm getting angry just thinking about it.
If you want to see real divas, head over to NXT.
Or
or
WWE
TNA.
can just split up the titles and bring out more wrestlers.
Just let Naomi.
Even better,
Naomi on the title
stop
hold the
calling
belt.
it the Divas title. Stop calling them Divas. Call it the Women's Wrestling Division. I hate the connection to that goddamn reality TV show.
But-
It's so
But
lame.
see, it was a Divas title before the reality TV show.
Yeah, but I feel like now that they've had the reality TV show, it's made it like the name Divas title seem like much more of a joke. You know, it's not the same Divas title like Trish Stratus held or Lita held. You know what I mean?
But we can move away. We'll move away from the Divas division because I feel like we're going to spend too much time complaining about it. Let's talk about the next match, the Intercontinental Championship match. Bad News Barrett versus Dean Ambrose, which is obviously another match that's heading for WrestleMania.
Real quick, can you explain to me what happened at the end? 'Cause I looked away.
Okay,
I
this
looked away, and then I looked back and it was over, and I'm like, what?
And this is something bad when you can make a matchup between the Intercontinental type champ and Dean Ambrose worse than the Divas match. You really got issues. It made no sense at all. Basically, Dean Ambrose is kicking his ass. Wade Barrett just decides, I'm going to leave. I've had enough. He goes, grabs his belt, tries to run away. Dean Ambrose jumps out to go stop him. It was like hitting him, bringing him back in the ring. And the ref just kept saying, stop, Dean. You can't do that. And I'm like, what do you mean he can't do that? This guy's trying to run away from the match. He's trying to win the title. And he just kept getting in the way of Dean Ambrose. Like, Dean Ambrose trying to attack Wade Barrett's like, no, Dean, no. And then eventually he just, like, waves his hand. It's like, I'm disqualifying you. Why? Because I'm trying to win the title? Excuse me?
It was because at the end it was, if you looked at it, it was a stupid ending. The booking of that ending was retarded. It was really just because Bad News Barrett was in the corner. I don't know.
Well, no, he called the match before that because they had mentioned it. I noticed them say something before. I was like, wait, did you say disqualified? Before Dean Ambrose really went at him, he'd already disqualified him when he barely did anything.
Yeah. But the match itself, like up until that retarded ending, was actually pretty good, just because of it was actually pretty fun seeing Dean Ambrose go like crazy with the punches, especially that bit where Bad News Barrett was walking away with the belt and he jumped through the middle of the rope. So I thought that was pretty cool. But the ending was just like I know you want this feud to last a bit longer, like. As I said, it'll probably be the Mania match for the Intercontinental Championship where Dean Ambrose will win it. But honestly, that was just the worst way of doing it. You could have even had Bad News Barrett pull a bullhammer just out of the blue, just randomly. He's getting beat up the whole match, just swings the bullhammer.
Or just grab the belt and hit Dean Ambrose and get disqualified that way.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a clean disqualification. It was
a weird one.
It was just like, yeah, I'm just disqualifying you. Like, there was no real build-up or reason. There was nothing done.
In short, that match was a match where if you looked away towards the end, you'd have no clue just what happened. And even hearing it back, you're kind of like, what? Why? Why would they take that direction?
Even seeing it didn't make any sense. It was just like, where is the reason for this? You didn't see Dean Ambrose do anything demonstrative to get himself disqualified, other than he didn't listen to the ref when the ref told him stop hitting him. They do that all the time in wrestling matches. But when did somebody get disqualified for that?
The thing that's annoying me about the matches at Fastlane is just like every match at Fastlane is being built to a match at WrestleMania. That's just the direction they're heading with every match. And even speaking about the match after the Intercontinental Championship match, this is the exact same thing. The United States Championship match between Rusev and Cena is the exact same build, that it's going to Mania. And that's where it's getting resolved. It's like, if you want to do it that way, why not just wait until after Fastlane, build it, then have it at Mania? But
Yeah. I mean, as for the match, I liked the match. I thought the match was really, really good, though. I thought Rusev did a great job of being a heel and showing that he's like a bad guy. He was doing dirty stuff. He was laughing, he was showing off in front of the crowd every time he had Cena down, and like that smirk on his face. Rusev really gets what it means to be a heel, and I really, really like that about him. And I thought he carried that match really well. It kind of went to what Motor was saying on the last pay-per-view podcast, how John Cena needs to be knocked down. Rusev did a good job of knocking John Cena down. It was done very, very well.
Yeah, it was the end. It was the ending we predicted on the Fastlane video. It was Rusev to win dirty. It had to happen because if Cena had won that match, it done absolutely nothing for Rusev. At least Rusev now has a win over John Cena. It's a bit of confidence. That means when he loses, and I mean when he loses at WrestleMania to John Cena, it's not going to be as bad because I really don't see a way of him going to WrestleMania and beating John Cena again. That's just the honest truth. I feel he'll lose there. But the matches... Oh, yeah? What were you going to say?
He can lose. John Cena can lose at WrestleMania and then take like a year off and don't come back.
Jesus.
Well, I doubt he would take a year off, but I honestly can see him losing.
Well, a year off in John Cena time, like a few months. Like, no,
yeah.
Seriously.
That was so left field. It's just like, he could just disappear.
No, but
but I know what he's saying. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah.
It's the match, right? I enjoyed the match because this I felt like wasn't the John Cena match where he does the move set and you can't see me and all that moves that we know or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, this is a really good match. And it wasn't even one of those slow matches where you got two big guys just welling at each other, then they get tired and they're like, okay, look, let me suplex you and we'll end the match now. It was actually pretty good. The main problem I had, let me get this out the way, with the match is how they called it. I did not like that they try to say, he didn't give up, but he passed out, so he lost by submission. Like, what the fuck kind of ruling was that? Like, out of all, he's been in the WWE for a decade. His thing has always been to never give up and blah blah blah. Right? This is when I was like 15 or whatever, and John Cena just got his first WWE tag, not WWE tag, the WWE title, and he's on a mic and he's like fired up, like, I never bet that, I never quit, and it's just like hearing that, it's like, yo, that's my dude. Like, yeah, that got me fired up. So, as a fan, almost 10 years later, I'm like, yo, why would y'all tarnish that? Like, that is his legacy. That is John Cena's legacy. Never giving up. Now, if they had said, I'm calling the match because he can't respond. Well, he can't respond. Cool. I would have been okay with that. But them saying he submitted really pissed me off.
You can't say that he submitted because he didn't submit.
Exactly.
Although I personally say this, I wish they kind of did have him submit, because I think that would have pushed Rusev, like, that would have been huge for Rusev, because nobody's ever made this guy submit. Like, I am the guy who made, it's kind of, it's not as big, but it's kind of in the same vein as Brock Lesnar taking Undertaker out in WrestleMania.
You know what?
Yeah.
But the thing about that is, this is a legacy that's not as long-lived as an Undertaker. Undertaker had a 20-plus year legacy that no one was able to take out. Even if Rusev would be the person, I would want him to do that when John Cena is on his way out the door. You know what I'm saying? Like the Undertaker, he only wrestles once a year, and so on and so forth. So if John Cena got to that point, I wouldn't mind him like passing the torch at WrestleMania. Yeah, I submitted, blah blah blah, my first time in whatever 20 years. But right now was not the time for that. It definitely was not the time for that, especially at Fastlane. At WrestleMania, maybe, but nah, not even then for me. Like,
But
there's
I mean,
no
they gave him
way.
the out like they give everybody big the out against Rusev because Rusev, anybody on his level like John Cena, who else? Sheamus, Big Show, they never tapped. I'm kind of mad they made Mark Henry tap. By the way, that pissed me off. But they never
Didn't
tapped.
he
They
tap
all
against
passed
the
out.
Undertaker?
Huh?
But
No, I mean
tap,
against Rusev. I'm talking about against Rusev. All of them like had to. Oh, we passed. They passed out, so they had to call the match type of
yeah.
out
See,
clause.
that's stupid. What made them pass out? Like,
But that, I reckon that if Cena, instead of it being the interruption by, what's her name, Lana, instead of her interrupting, it would have looked a lot stronger if Cena had just passed out to the accolade without an interference.
Yeah, like if we would have
Rusev
had it held for a long time, like that's how it was.
Yeah,
You know,
and
he was in
yeah,
it for a really long time, and then he just couldn't tap.
Yeah, it made Rusev look a lot stronger as opposed to doing the low blow and then getting him back in the accolade and then him passing out. That was
what would you rather have though? Would you rather him look a lot stronger, or would you rather him look like a great heel? Because the way it ended, I didn't have a problem with. That made him look like a great heel. He's about to get his ass kicked him in the nuts, then in the face, knocked out, playing dirty. You know, you got the little broad on the sidelines you don't like oh, she will get into the it just makes you hate him. Great.
Yeah, it draws a lot of heat. It makes you just want to see him lose.
Yeah, I mean, he was already a really good heel, to be honest. So
No,
him looking
is,
stronger couldn't hurt.
But this is okay, back. They had something on Facebook, right? They were talking about what happens when John Cena snapped, and they were little random clips of him snapping on people. Great promos. And I talk about one of my favorite Raw episodes I'll never forget is when he's chasing after Edge and he's just whooping Edge's ass, and Edge is stumbling around trying to get out the arena and whatever. And John Cena's constantly running after him, yelling at him, talking about, "Where are you going? I'm not going nowhere." And he's just whooping his ass. They get out into the lake. He goes, "Where are you going?" And throws him into the lake. And he yells at the top of his lungs, "I'm not going nowhere." And it just ends Raw. That was the best shit ever to me. When he's like that, when he's aggressive, when he's just fired up and just going after his opponent and "Hey, you thought you knew me and blah blah blah, you thought I was soft, oh let me show you something else. That is when John Cena's at his peak. That's when he's the absolute best. No one besides people who hate him just to hate him, for the most part, it wasn't a split crowd.
Because somebody was like, "You're a Cena fan? Really?"
Oh, I mean, this is back in the day when everybody loved Cena, but, just the point, this is what they need. This is a rivalry. The way it ended, that's the best way for them to build this up even more for WrestleMania. This match, not just because of the title, this just the rivalry, even though it's kind of fast, it actually feels right.
Yeah.
This is going to be good. This is going to be really good, and we can expect an even better match. At least we should, and we should get an even better match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
For this.
Not only do I want that, I want him to lose again. I want him to lose again, and I want him to be even dirtier. I want it to be even some shadier type of shit that goes down. I want this to go through SummerSlam.
Right?
Go in it now.
Well, no, what I want to see. What I need to see now is I need Rusev to start shoving the title in Cena's face. That needs to happen now. If they want that United States Championship taken seriously, like they keep saying with the how they're kind of doing now with the titles, they need that United States Championship. Rusev needs to be holding it clean in Cena's face.
But that's why I wanted to go through Summers. That's why I wanted to go long. Because I want him to keep saying, because I want him to keep coming out, "I'm the U.S. champ. You can't beat me. I beat you here. I beat you there. When are you going to learn?" I want him to just draw as much heat as possible, so that if and when Cena gets it, that belt is so high, it's so sought after that you can't ignore that title, and it'll make it mean something again. That's what I want. That's why I don't want it just to end at WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania, I can see, like going with what you're saying, Mike. I can see Rusev disqualifying himself.
Yep.
With the title, but John Cena wins at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
And then they continue on, like you're saying, and he just beat a great heel. This will make it on main event status. Like the United States is more,
Prestigious.
yeah, than the world title. And not only that, but this would be one of those rivalries that we haven't gotten in a long time. Like anybody, matter of fact, I can't even think of anybody who's had a rivalry that's lasted more than like a few months.
Yeah, it's usually a 2 to 3 month thing, and then they find
they
something
just dump
else.
it. Besides right now, which is only like a 2-month thing or something. I think the last one was CM Punk and Brock Lesnar. They had something going on for quite some time.
Yeah, that was a pretty long-standing one.
Actually, while we're on this match, we completely skipped over something. Like I wasn't paying attention to the promos. Well, we skipped over the Bray Wyatt freaking promo. That broke my heart in two. I actually thought that was literally the Undertaker. I thought that was the Undertaker. Holy shit, Bray Wyatt is like he's cutting
awesome.
the best promos by far at the moment.
Did y'all hear the guy in the background yell, "He's better than you"? I was rolling. I wonder how much willpower it took for him to be like, "Shut the fuck up."
Right.
For him not to say that, I would have snapped. Like, dog, you see me?
I kind of wish he did respond. I kind of wish he did, because if he would have responded, he probably would have said something that would have been so good. That's something I miss too. I remember back in the day, wrestlers used to actually respond to the crowd when they said stuff. Especially Ric Flair. Ric Flair used to be the master responder to the crowd. He would make them feel so damn small for what they would say. It was great.
Now, if no one knows, they know. Bray Wyatt officially called out the Undertaker, and
right?
Can I say more than likely it's going to happen now if they've gone through all this for Bray Wyatt to call out the Undertaker. It's almost guaranteed the Undertaker will come back and fight. But how much if at WrestleMania? What if Bray Wyatt was to crush the Undertaker? And I mean, like, pin him quick.
Yeah,
if they do that,
good for
WWE has officially just jumped off the deep end. Like, they just don't even give a fuck anymore. They're like, whatever.
Bray Wyatt would be a monster. Like, heel-wise, his character-wise, everything. He can't.
You can't do that
if it did happen.
You can't do that for a few reasons. One, Brock Lesnar should be the only person that beats The Undertaker. Okay? If he wrestles again, which, like we're saying, more than likely, it's pretty much a for sure thing now, he's going to do it. Undertaker has to win. Another reason why you can't do that is because we can't give Bray Wyatt all that power. It's like, okay, if Bray Wyatt can do that to the legend Undertaker, why isn't he in the main event title? Why isn't he, getting all the, things that come with being the face of the company and whatever? So, what I would love to happen between Undertaker and Bray Wyatt is, them have a great match, a damn good match, filled with the Undertaker doing the tongue thing and Bray Wyatt doing his little crazy walk on your hands thing. It'd just be a real crazy match. Maybe even have some fog, some dim lighting, just a really good spooky match, and Undertaker wins, but then it's kind of like they come together like, okay, yeah, you cool, you got some things to learn, but I'll let you, I'll teach you some things or something like that, and just kind of like pass the torch, maybe have Undertaker as a manager or something, Because when Bray Wyatt was introduced, I always felt like, yo, this is the new Undertaker. Like, this guy has it. He's good on the mic. He's, weird. And just, like, kind of makes you cringe sometimes. Like, what is he doing? Why are you doing that? But, he's missing that, that mystique to him. That makes him feel... that makes it feel like he's not human. Undertaker had that thing where he would shoot lightning at the ring and whatever, and just the creepy messages and whatever. The only thing he needs some like unnatural powers to happen for Bray Wyatt, and then he would get up there. He can be the new Undertaker.
And see, the problem with Bray Wyatt is that they have used him to job out to so many people because he's such a great, he has such great ring work. There's that, he needs to fight the Undertaker. He doesn't need to beat the Undertaker, but he needs to put on a really good match with Undertaker.
Yeah.
Lose to the Undertaker, and then after that, start to just like rack up the wins. Like that sends his confidence through the roof. Ooh. That puts him on a pedestal, like you said, Undertaker gives him the nod, saying like, "Yeah, you're the next."
That'll be really good on my
air. What's up?
They have a casket match. Okay.
I was about to say it should be a casket
match.
Yeah.
And then Bray Wyatt loses, and Undertaker carries. Has the Druids come out. They carry it out or whatever, and we don't see Bray Wyatt for some time. And then Bray Wyatt comes back looking more evil, more just spooky. And then he comes back with like these powers and like he's going after Roman Reigns or whoever has the title or whatever, and he's just this power. And they keep him that way for the rest of time. That'd be like the passing of the torch.
Yeah, he needs to transcend beyond the the glorified jobber that they've made him.
Exactly. But that would be the perfect way to do it. He can come back like I was, the Undertaker took me under his wing, so to speak, or under whatever, and showed me he was the man that I thought he was all them years ago. He frightened me, blah, 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 and he ate me and turned me into this other man, and now I'm bigger and badder than ever kind of speech, and just, be the bad guy. Be that guy the Undertaker was so long ago. That would be fly. I would like that a lot.
He definitely needs that. But I mean, he also needs to be put in the mix for the titles too. But I ain't gonna go there because we'll keep going on and on about that.
Or we can have like they can have like some feud, like the next person call out the Undertaker who think they better than Bray Wyatt, and Undertaker's like, you aren't worthy to fight me, blah blah blah. But I got someone for you, and then he sends out Bray Wyatt, and then he gets like one match, whoops the guy's ass, and then Bray Wyatt like disappears again, and it only comes every so often or something like that. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out a way to push him further to the top. He's ready. He's been ready. He's one of the best people they got.
If not the best at this point.
Yeah.
As far as entertainment
I honestly think like he is there. Like I say Seth Rollins only because I still remember Seth Rollins' indie career, and I know like once Seth Rollins becomes a face, it's gonna be fucking ridiculous, and people are just gonna they're not gonna know what to do with themselves because he's gonna make Jeff Hardy look, like a normal wrestler.
Wow.
Once he goes face, because that's how good that kid can be if you let him go, But yeah, Bray Wyatt definitely right now is probably the best of the bunch as a heel or whatever, because he's phenomenal. He does phenomenal.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the few wrestlers who can transcend or blur the lines between face and heel. Because right. Undertaker wasn't a face or a heel. He was the Undertaker. And Bray Wyatt can definitely do that. But in order for him to do that and stay in that lane, he needs this cosign from Undertaker.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move on to the Next, and I guess that's the final match. The match for the number one contendership.
Is Pete still here?
He had to step off for a second.
Oh, okay.
That's why he
Oh no,
muted
no,
his
I'm
mic.
here.
Okay.
Yeah. What was I gonna... This match, I said from the start that I didn't feel it should have been at Fastlane. This shouldn't have even been a match. Like, I'm not saying that the match was terrible between the two wrestlers. I'm just saying I don't feel Roman Reigns should have had to defend his title shot
No,
at
he shouldn't.
Fastlane. Like I said when we last spoke on the Sharpshootin podcast, it really just puts a big question mark over the Royal Rumble now, knowing that someone can just have their opportunity, the guaranteed opportunity to main event WrestleMania, just basically taken away from them, or at least put on the line.
This was and is only a thing because of the fans. If the fans didn't, cry about it, didn't complain, if they didn't lose some ratings or some subscriptions or something, I'm pretty sure this match wouldn't have happened. But obviously, this is a nod towards, okay, we hear y'all, no one in Daniel Bryan, so, we'll make something work. We'll give you Daniel Bryan versus Reign for the hope and blah, blah, blah. I understood that. But at the same time, I find it funny that when Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, regardless of who he went over and whatever, they boo him. But last year, when it was Batista who won the Royal Rumble, they wanted Roman Reigns to win. That's what I find really weird.
Yeah, it is kind of funny how that works.
I think it was because Daniel Bryan wasn't in. Daniel Bryan wasn't.
But you
in
have
the
to
Rumble.
think he wasn't there at all, and people were upset about that as well.
So I guess they just settled for Roman Reigns in the Royal Rumble. Like, if Daniel Bryan was there, everyone would have wanted Bryan to win. It was just really. It was. I think it was because last year's. Think about it. Last year's Rumble, in turn, was extremely predictable because everyone knew Batista was coming back, and basically everyone thought that Batista was going to win the Rumble. I bet if you look at a load of predictions for the Royal Rumble 2014, everyone's first name on the list would be Batista. It's the same going into this year. I thought it was either going to be Roman Reigns or Daniel Bryan, and when Daniel Bryan got eliminated, you knew at that point that Roman Reigns was going to win the Rumble.
Actually, I felt like last year, I thought it was going to be CM Punk. I wanted CM Punk to win. That's what my prediction was. The way they were going with the whole story, the authorities putting you in the Royal Rumble because they want you to win. They want you to do this. We care about you, Punk. Like, all that, I thought CM Punk was going to win. But this year, I thought Bray Wyatt was going to win. I thought they were going to finally push him to main event status with this by him being the first person, being the number one dude in the ring for the whole time and going over on everybody. I thought he was going to be the guy. But that didn't happen. But it's just weird to me that when Roman Reigns finally wins, because last year, he eliminated almost as many people as Kane in one match. And it's like...
No, he broke Kane's record.
All right, okay, he broke Kane's record, and he should have won. Like, it's like, these are the things they don't understand. There are certain matches, there are certain pay-per-views. While it may not be WrestleMania, doing certain things looks really good on the resume. I was number one, and I eliminated all 29 other people. Or I just outlasted 29 other people.
Yeah, I mean, even this year, if Bray Wyatt would have did it, it would have been impressive. Because wasn't he like 4 or 5? He was somewhere really like in the early.
Yeah, I feel like he was number one
for
some reason.
No. Number one was The Miz.
Yeah, okay. The Miz and R-Truth were the first two.
Okay.
Then it was like Luke Harper. Then it was Bray Wyatt.
Right. Okay. So I mean, just winning the Royal Rumble, even if it guarantees you a guaranteed title shot or whatever, it's like using that to push someone forward, at least pushing someone forward who deserves it, in a sense. Like, I don't think Roman Reigns is ready for that. and I don't think he's ready for that because it's like they modeled him after John Cena, where he has like this move set that he does, and you pretty much know the match is over. And this is the main reason why I enjoyed Daniel Bryan's match with Roman Reigns, because it wasn't like move set Daniel Bryan lose. It was like they were going back and forth. They had a great match, phenomenal.
Yeah, it was a fight. It was actually a fight.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, I would have loved that for a WrestleMania match between the two. Maybe Daniel Bryan has the title and Roman Reigns is going for it or whatever. Roman Reigns wins. That'd have been fine with me. But I'm glad it's not like a triple threat or anything, because now they can get rid of Brock Lesnar holding the title. We have a champion who's going to be on TV day in, day out when he's supposed to be, and he can have more fights with, Daniel Bryan, because that was phenomenal. Like, it was really good.
I think it's set up well because, say, at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar attacks Roman Reigns after the match and leaves him there, and then Rollins cashes in Money in the Bank. I think that'll be an epic match, Rollins versus Reigns.
I wish they could figure out a way. I mean, and Brock has said it before. If they could figure out a way to pay him on a regular basis what he wants, he'd be around. Because I would love for Brock to actually keep the title for a little while. I think he makes, when he's wrestling, he makes a great champion. He's a great force to be reckoned with, but he doesn't wrestle enough, and that's my only complaint, is that your champion is barely on TV. And Paul Heyman, love him to death, love his mic skills, but it just doesn't completely work without the champion on TV wrestling. He doesn't even necessarily have to wrestle. Just show up more often.
I don't like what they do with Brock Lesnar. So every time we see Brock Lesnar thus far, he just looked like this unstoppable force and blah blah blah. I don't like that. It's like the only reason he gets away with it is because he's not here all the time. If he was here all the time and he just kept winning and winning and winning, and it would be like, okay, whoever goes over on Brock Lesnar, it would take some kind of I Quit match, and it would take 29 other people to come beat up Brock Lesnar and then get the pin or something like that. That's where it's coming into the realm of ridiculousness. And if Brock Lesnar was here on a consistent basis, I would want him to lose matches and not just get over on the big stars and stuff like that. When he first came back and he just attacked John Cena, but John Cena won, and then it was like, okay, whatever. Then he goes out to CM Punk and he loses again, and now he's going after these other people, and now he's starting to win again. And it's like, okay, what the hell happened when John Cena beat you the first time, and now you're just manhandling him? John Cena can just be manhandled. I don't understand.
I will say that the whole build up to him to being the unstoppable person kind of went weird, because it was like the whole year before WrestleMania where he beat Taker, he was just losing to everybody. He wasn't the beast, and then it's like now after beating Undertaker, nobody can touch him. It's part of the inconsistencies with WWE. You can't just go from 1 to 180 like that and then bring it back down to 1. And that's what I feel like they would end up doing with him at WrestleMania if he loses, because now you've built this he's unstoppable, and I feel like if he loses, it's not going to be done the best way that they can possibly do it. I really see him losing in a very cheesy way, and I don't want him to lose that way. It has to be extremely believable, to the whole pull off the impossible thing.
Yeah. But it's like looking forward with Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. This match cannot be Brock Lesnar manhandling Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns like just outlasting Brock Lesnar. This has to be a fight.
Yeah, and that's what I see is like Roman Reigns surviving somehow.
Right? Someone coming to help him or something like that.
When you were talking about Lesnar losing when he first came back to John Cena, that match he lost to John Cena, that first one was... John Cena was completely dominated in that match, and then John Cena just pulled a move out of nowhere and then just won the match. I remember that match because that was retarded because it was exactly like Brock Lesnar's fight with Frank Mir in the UFC. But if, when Brock Lesnar faces Roman Reigns, they're not going to do it clearly one-sided. At the start, it'll probably be... they're going to have Lesnar looking dominant going into WrestleMania, but I think Rollins will have to put on a good show. And this is going to be interesting in terms of a matchup because Reigns may actually have to carry it, or at least go on par, because can Lesnar carry a match just on his own, like, completely? Especially against a guy like Reigns. It's kind of lazy. I find Reigns to be kind of lazy.
I don't think he's lazy, per se. But I think
limited on moves.
Yeah, you can kind of say that. I think it's more so that he has like no one to really work with to like really bring out that potential. It's like his fight with Daniel Bryan. Now some people may argue that they carried him or whatever. I don't personally think so, but his fight with Daniel Bryan was unlike anything we've seen with him in a singles match. It was a fight. It was entertaining. It was phenomenal. And I frankly wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, the 5 moves, Daniel Bryan lose, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I was expecting. The match with Cena versus Lesnar was, like you said, Brock dominating for the most part, and then Cena reaching down deep and pulling out some move, and he win. Now, the problem with that is, even though that's the case, next match with Brock and Cena just got dominated.
It was like he didn't exist.
It was like he wasn't worth shit. It was like Brock finding somebody off the street. It was not good. It wasn't like it just wasn't good. So with that in mind, especially when you lose to someone like CM Punk, he lost to CM Punk, regardless of how it was done or whatever. He lost to CM Punk. CM Punk is a much smaller guy, much smaller. How in the hell does that work? It doesn't. So with Roman Reigns being kind of in between Cena and CM Punk, or around Cena's size or whatever, this has to be a fight. This cannot be one-sided for one part of the match and then one-sided on the next part. Whatever. This has to be a clash. This has to be just what we did not expect it to be, and then go some more and be this great thing. If it's like, even if whoever gets the belt, because I'm not sure who they're going to give the belt, maybe they'll let Brock keep it and have something with Sting or something like that. And, Randy Orton versus Brock or whatever. But whatever it is, it has to be like, they really did deserve that.
Yeah, he's going to have to go over big. He's going to have to put on a really good match. He can't take any breaks. He can't, he has to keep going and just make it an all-out war for us. Because I think the Daniel Bryan match, the good thing about that was that it was such a huge slugfest, and the back and forth, they both showed like they were really into it. They were really trying whatever. Sometimes they would even pull a little heelish things now and then to get out of moves or to get over. it was done well. He needs to take that match and ramp it up like to the umpteenth power against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
It has to, because we know they want to give him the belt. We've known this for a while that they want him to be the next heir. So he must put on the match of his life to sell it to us, because I don't care how much you dislike the idea of Roman Reigns having the belt. If they put on a classic match, you're not going to care, because if you really do like wrestling and you sit there and you watch a classic match and that guy wins, you need to stand up and applaud him, regardless of how you feel about him.
Yeah. And he needs to win over the crowd with this great match.
Yeah, exactly. So they need to knock this one out the park. I mean, they've set it up to where it's now the way they've set up these matches with WrestleMania, that has to be the spotlight match, because these other matches, yeah, you might get some good entertainment out of it, but for the most part, a lot of them aren't matches that, at least for me, I don't feel needs to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This match does, and this is the match that you need to really, really sell.
Yep.
No, we can't argue with that.
How did y'all feel about the cosign from Dan Bryan?
Me and you kind of discussed it a little bit yesterday, and I agree. There's something they needed to do a lot more. It should have been a lot more demonstrative. Like you were saying, he probably should have grabbed the mic and to say, "I got something to say to you," and then he was like, he cut a promo saying it's a tough for match. I still think I'm better than you, but you prove that you are, good enough to be there. So now I'm gonna need you to go there and do it and handle business, and take care of Brock wrestling.
And just I'll be back or something like
that. Right. You haven't seen the last of me, and I'm gonna be right there. So when you take the belt, cool, I'll be there next to take it off you. Something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ending was pretty I don't know. Going into this match, I didn't think Reigns was gonna win clean. There were so many different outcomes that I had before Reigns winning clean that when it happened, I was just kind of did that just happen? It was just a spear. Daniel Bryan was just going for the running knee, and then he just gets speared. I saw the spear coming. I knew he was going to spear him, but I didn't think he was going to get the 3 count. I mean, I'm not disappointed with it. It's not The Rock versus CM Punk, but it was just surprising. When was that? That was Royal Rumble 2 years ago when that retarded people's elbow. It's not that bad, but I'm saying it was just I don't know how to word it. It's just very unexpected that it would just pin him like that. I thought it was just gonna either be a no winner and they have a triple threat at Mania, or someone interferes.
Yeah, I'm glad it was clean. It needed to be clean. If it would have been dirty, that would have sucked. Because you need to push him.
Yeah, not only do you need to push him, but if it was dirty, that would go against him being a face, and they can't do that. Because it's heels typically don't go after heels. So it's if he did win over dirty, we would more than likely have a triple threat match.
Exactly.
Because
yeah.
The fans would have been outraged and be you know what? Daniel Bryan still deserves it, blah, blah, blah. We definitely would have had a triple threat match on our hands. So it definitely needed to be clean. It needed to be a great match. And it needed to be something, just like he won us over with this match. He don't have to do it again at WrestleMania. But him winning the way he did, it being clean, it being the phenomenal match that it was, helped people okay, we can deal with that. He actually does, have more than 5 moves and run around screaming.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Right? It's just he has it, but it needs to be this Roman Reigns at Fastlane all the time. It can't be the 5 moves you're done, Roman Reigns, and then bad promo. It can't be that. It can't.
Yeah.
So now we wait until Mania to see how the whole Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns feud plays out, because I'm actually pretty interested with it.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's gonna
kind of interested, but I'm more so. What's keeping me from being so interested is what's going to happen to Brock. Because if he keeps the title, more than likely we're only going to see him a few times a year. If he doesn't keep the title, more than likely we're not going to see him anymore. And if we do, who's he going to fight? Who's left for him to fight of main event status? There's no belts for him to go after. There's no one bigger or big enough, I should say, to go against him. There's no one who would, logically, the way they set him up, who would want to go against him. You know,
Yeah.
unless they bring like Mark Henry back or something, and they're like, you know, that time you broke my arm way back then. I don't know.
Where do you think Daniel Bryan stands in terms of Mania?
I think he's next in line. I think.
Yeah, like for Mania, they'll find
Oh wait,
it.
no. I see what you're saying.
For Mania, he, like, everyone, like, you got Rollins, he's gonna have his match with Orton, and then it seems like everyone, the only one that it seems that Daniel Bryan can verse is Sheamus.
But see, that would be a filler. I'd rather them have 5 matches than filler.
But Bryan
Yeah, and
has
he
to.
doesn't need to
Bryan
be.
I feel he has to be at Mania.
You know, I
for
feel
me.
like sometimes you don't have to have everybody there if there's no purpose. Again, going back to the 6-man tag match that happened on Fastlane earlier. That was just so Seth Rollins can be there. He didn't need to be there, to be quite honest, to make that pay-per-view. I don't think that if you don't have a believable match for Bryan, he doesn't need to be there. I don't need him just to do a match just to, just because Daniel Bryan to be there. Give him some purpose.
I mean, they're gonna want Sheamus at Mania. If they're doing all this promo work to get him back, he's gonna be having a match at Mania.
What promo work?
Well, not the return reel that they keep showing every week on Raw. They show it twice a Raw.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
you know what?
Sheamus,
They might actually do that.
He's gonna come. He's gonna come
do it now.
No, because Sheamus. I've read that Sheamus wants to come back as a heel, and that's the only logical way he's gonna come back as a massive heel. He's just gonna come back and kick
beat up the fan
Daniel
favorite.
But like, they need to start now if you want that to happen, because you have a month till WrestleMania. I don't want you 2 weeks from now. All of a sudden, Sheamus shows up, beats the hell out of Daniel Bryan, and we have a match. I hate.
Hopefully, it's not the week before. It's not the week.
Yeah,
before.
I hate when they do that. They need to Sheamus needs to show up somewhere, ASAP.
Or you know what? They can have it like the Authority starts picking on Daniel Bryan again, and you'll have a match at WrestleMania, but we're not gonna tell you who your opponent is, i.e. Sheamus, and then Sheamus comes out,
So for that match,
Daniel Bryan.
For that match to work, I think Sheamus has to bro kick. He has to bro kick Daniel Bryan before Mania.
Yeah, it would be like the week before, like, oh, okay, you want to know who your opponent is? He's right there behind you, and he turns around and gets bro kicked. That would be great. A good setup.
Do it quickly, but don't force a match. I don't want to force a match.
Yeah.
What if Daniel Bryan's getting attacked? I don't know by who, but he's getting attacked. Sheamus comes out, starts helping him, and you think it's all sweet, and then next minute he turns to look at Sheamus and just gets bro kicked.
That would be funny.
Yeah, that would set it up fine. I mean, they're gonna
run
the face, yo. I wouldn't mind a Roman Reigns versus Sheamus match. I think that would be pretty good. I like Sheamus. I know how y'all feel about him, but I actually like Sheamus.
The thing with Sheamus, though, is it feels like whenever a wrestler gets to the top, they just get a 5 moveset. Sheamus, his movesets
Yeah.
are getting limited as well. It's just, I don't know, Sheamus. I don't think I even liked him when he was just new. Even when he was having his title run, I've never liked him.
When he took the title from John Cena, I didn't like him because he was a great heel. But, you know, arguably, it's not hard for someone like Sheamus to be either or. Because for me, putting that out there, he actually got some skills on the mic. He can actually relate to people and get people behind him. But it's like, it's not hard to make people hate you too. And he just has that skill. So whether he comes back as a face or heel, if he comes back as a face, I would love to see him go for the title. I would like to see that because of who has the title, and they're pretty similar brawlers. Just it'll be a good match. I feel like it'll be a fight, a thing that Sheamus is kind of known for, fighting.
Yeah, I mean
I think that's why him being a heel would work so much though, because he's such a brawler, and he can
That's why the promo videos have been working so well, because they're all it's saying is something like I don't care whether it's like a ring or a pub or something, I like to fight. And then they just have like that whole thing going. So I don't know, Sheamus needs to, like Mike, like you said, he needs to return soon as opposed to the week before WrestleMania.
And if we don't see him, they just need to set up the match.
Yeah, at least build heat to the match. Like you said, if you want to make it a surprise thing, they need to start laying the foundation for that. Like letting Brian know, we got something for you because you interrupted us. And, you've been a thorn on our side all this time. We need to finally take care of you.
That is but with the same time, we say that it's an easy way for Sheamus to turn heel, but what's the background behind the match? Why would Sheamus, that's the thing that you got to think of. I think I might be looking too far into the match, but it makes me wonder what the background of that match will be, like why Sheamus chose to attack Daniel Bryan as opposed to anyone else on the roster.
Well, it could be like he doesn't like the usual thing. You are at a place you don't deserve. I deserve to be here. Blah blah blah, and just run with that. That's what they usually do.
Now, see, if they were gonna they could have brought Sheamus back a while ago. Especially if they wanted to do something with John Cena, other than the Rusev thing. That would have been the natural thing because Sheamus went out trying to help John Cena, and it could have been like, I joined your team, I got hurt, and I was out. You cost me time off of the ring. It's something like that. It's going to be hard to find the investment. I mean, I think one of the good things about Daniel Bryan being so over is that people won't care what the psychology is behind the match. They just want to see Daniel Bryan wrestle. So you can kind of get away with it with him because they just want him to be there. You know what I mean? So they may not have to. We're working hard, but they really, in truth, probably don't have to work that hard. Like he said, Sheamus could just show up the week before, bro kick them, and we just go at it because
he can do the whole thing too. Don't say nothing, just walk away. Be great. You'd be like, hey, you're not gonna say nothing? People would be hot. They'd be pissed off.
That's like us with Sting.
Exactly, they'd be pissed off. Sting, and then run away like this.
Sting to us is now a heel because he refuses to speak. We just have
just want him to say something. One thing. Oh my god! I'm telling you, it would be hilarious. It would be hilarious if he just kept saying WrestleMania. That would be hilarious.
Now I'm just waiting to watch Raw to see what comes out.
And it's so bad. I don't even know what Sting sounds like. So when he finally,
you kind of do forget his voice.
I'm like,
it's so long since I've heard his voice. I can't even remember.
Yeah, but hopefully he doesn't have that weird voice. Like, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's massive, but then you hear him talk and you're like, no wonder you got Paul Heyman talking.
Right.
At least he don't sound like a baby, though. There's a lot of big dudes with really soft voices. Like, I'm talking like kid status voice, and this is just like, damn. You just got the wrong hormones or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, Sheamus coming back would be no matter what he does, if he's a face or if he's a heel. If he's going to be a face, it'll be something like him going after Brock Lesnar, like him saving Roman Reigns from Brock Lesnar, and Reigns get the title, and then Brock Lesnar and Sheamus fight. But if he's a heel, he should go after Daniel Bryan and just be a heel. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think that basically, in terms of over the, I was about to say over the limit, Fastlane, that pretty much wraps up the entire pay-per-view. I mean, really, you could call this the Fastlane to WrestleMania, because literally basically every match from here is going straight to WrestleMania for another match.
Yeah.
With the exception of Daniel Bryan and freaking Roman Reigns.
And
most match.
Paige and Nikki Bella, I feel like they're gonna put someone else in that spot.
We think
so,
there's a slight chance that unless they're gonna do some like hideous diva battle royal sort of thing.
Just don't do a Divas match. I don't know. No.
Not a battle royal? You don't think so?
I don't want because they'll do it They'll do it corny, like they did that Halloween battle royal match.
Okay.
Where they had everybody.
Naomi needs to win the belt.
Like let Naomi and what's her name, Natty, go at it before the tag team match happens. Do that. Have them wrestle first, then have their husbands wrestle in their title match after that. If you want a Divas match, that's the best Divas match that you could put on right now. Because
they're obviously going to have, like, Nikki's locked in to be at WrestleMania. It just depends on who she first. See, what they could have is, where's AJ? See, that's the thing. Stupid AJ just doesn't want to return. She's not injured, is she? She's just literally not returning.
She's just on tour. She asked for time off to go with CM Punk while he promotes his.
UFC.
Because she actually showed up. Somebody sent me a picture, a link saying like she was in the background of some talk show. He was on some podcast he was doing. She was just sitting in the back, in a dress. So she's basically just touring with him while he goes through this whole promo thing for UFC.
I'm really sad to see CM Punk go because he was magic on a mic, yo. Like,
yes, he was.
He was really good on a mic. Like I used to be this huge John Cena fan, but then once I kept hearing CM Punk speak and just getting behind him, I was just like, yo, this guy is like the greatest dude ever. Like, I love.
Yeah, he had the ability to go face or heel, like as he chooses. It was like you could say that was like The Rock. The Rock had the ability to do that. He could make everyone love him, and he could make everyone hate him. And he could just keep swapping, even if it was every week. The crowd they'd be like, yeah, we love you, The Rock, and then the next week they'd be like, oh shit, screw The Rock.
I feel like his greatest feud was John Cena versus CM Punk. Like, that was actually...
Yeah, that was when CM Punk was going to run away with the belt.
Yeah.
That was...
Where he went home. Yeah, that was good. But
he got the pipe bomb, as they like to call it.
I think here's a good point to wrap up the actual podcast itself, simply because there's not much we can really add to Fastlane.
Oh, yeah. How long have we been talking?
It's been about 2 hours, dude.
Oh, man.
We got a lot out of something that, to be quite honest, I feel like the back half was great. The beginning was kind of weak. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad that they put all the weak stuff in the front so that we got to the Cena-Rusev match, the Reigns Bryan match, they were able to work the matches really, really well. But for the most part, it's like we were saying, it's just a setup for WrestleMania. So
yeah, how would you rate Fastlane out of 10?
Oh, I'd give it. Hold on, what did I give Royal Rumble? Let me see if I can.
You gave it a 4.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.
4 out of 10.
Yeah, I did because
Fastlane.
Fastlane gets a slight bump ahead of it. I'd give it a 6.
Yeah,
Because the last two
that's
matches, the last two matches kind of really like that last hour was definitely worth watching. It answered questions that we needed answered. It built heat on Rusev and made the U.S. title look bigger. Um, but it didn't really bring closure to anything, with the exception of the whole who's the number one contender. There was no closure. It's like everything's so open ended.
That's the same as me. I'd probably give it a 6 as well, just simply because I expected a bit more from like the Intercontinental Championship match and the freaking Goldust Stardust match. I mean, some of the matches that were filling the start of it were just really weak. So yeah, probably a 6 all up out of 10.
I'm a be generous and say a strong 7 to light 8. I actually enjoyed it. It's better than what they've been giving us, and
That's true.
That's saying a lot, because this is definitely a step in the right direction. So everything that wasn't unraveled is starting to come together. It's looking like a nice rope, and hopefully they don't hang themselves with it. So I'm gonna give them a strong 7 to a light 8.
That's it. So,
Hopefully.
now we'll be back tomorrow to do the Raw review.
Yeah, because I actually didn't watch much of Raw. I caught a couple of bits, but I didn't really watch it, so I'm gonna have to catch that on the repeat.
Yeah.
But definitely, we will get back to that tomorrow. Thanks for everybody who watched. Thanks for everybody who supported all our videos, because we've been doing really well with this podcast. And we're gonna try to get. I'm serious. We're gonna have to try to get you on more, Flying Moto.
We're gonna
have to work out. We're gonna have to work out a schedule where you can get you on at least twice a month, if not just for the pay-per-view. But definitely, thank you for coming through.
Most definitely.
Appreciate it. And Pete, thank you always.
Y'all having me.
Yeah,
No problem, man. We enjoy having you here. All right, everybody. So that's it. Fly Modem, if you have anything you want to plug, let people know.
Look, Sting, we just want you to say something. Okay, that's all we want. Just one word. I don't care if it's like for the rest of this month. He says it's WrestleMania. Just
say, hey, how you doing, and then walk away.
This is what I sound like. No, I mean, not gonna check me out. I'm just a Call of Duty channel for the most part, and I do reviews here and there. But I am passionate.
Selling himself short, he has a lot of insightful videos. So if you want to, here's some. Really
I talk about things like, what was my last? The difference between someone who's dumb and someone who's like ignorant or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he has some really thoughtful stuff. So please, the link is in the description. Check him out. All right, Pete, say goodbye to the folks as usual.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming out and watching. We're sorry about the delay. Don't worry, at the WrestleMania pay-per-view, 100% lock it in. We'll be live right after the pay-per-view. 100%.
Yo, I feel like we should do that live. I would like to do that live.
No, we're gonna do it live. All the pay-per-view stuff they're live afterwards. It would have been last night, but something came up. So
yeah, so WrestleMania, lock it in. Right after the pay-per-view, straight back onto Black Vegas, the channel. We'll be going live.
Yes, definitely. All right.
No, I don't mean like that. I mean like we should watch it and commentate.
That's kind of iffy because WWE. Yeah. We can discuss that, but I've seen people try that. I have to figure out. I have to figure out a medium to do that without getting, maybe I'll find a live chat room to set up so people could just sit and type to each other.
Yeah,
that would work, but yeah, the recording while it's on.
The only way that would work is. The only way that would work is if we all went into, say, a Google Hangout while it was going, and we recorded our live reactions, and then you just upload it after the pay-per-view.
Yeah, you could do that too.
But we'll have the usual Sharpshooting podcast result sort of thing. right after. Well, we'll talk about it anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work that out, man, because that's a good thing. It would be very cool if we could do on the spot and then it uploads after the show. That might work. That might be the way to get around it. Yeah, I'm gonna just look into that.
All right.
But yeah, definitely. But anyway, thanks again, everybody, for coming through. Appreciate it, and we will see you on the next Sharpshooting podcast. See you guys later. Peace.
That's it.
Peace.